And we are joined now by a legend, Dr. Funkenstein.
Roof. What's happening?
How's it going? Welcome to Phoenix.
I've been defleed, de-ticked, and I got my rabies shot, and I'm ready to bury the bone.
You're all set.
I'm
Papers
set. I'm
are
ready
to
to
go.
do the dog tonight, y'all.
You just flew in from Europe. What did you think when you stepped off the plane or out of your car today? Heat warning in effect, or did you about melt,
brother,
or what?
You know, we've been cool all around the world till we got here. It's hot here. It's hot, and we're gonna make it even hotter tonight. But you know, it was good to get our foot back on the ground in Phoenix.
And you got a big show tonight at the press room in downtown Phoenix.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that in a second. But you have an amazing career. I mean, started back in the 60s, correct?
Yeah.
And really started coming into its own in the 70s.
Actually in the 50s.
Oh, did you, in the 50s?
57, our first record came out.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
So you're talking about a 60-year body of music.
Something like that, yes.
That's incredible.
Like I said, including the theme song for one of Fox's first shows.
That's right, Tracy Ullman's show.
The Tracy Ullman show in The Simpsons. We played this little spots for that too.
And there are all kinds of ways to get your music out. And you've been pretty outspoken about copyright issues and things, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But one of the things I think is neatest about your music, and you're talking about having something coming out in the 50s, but you have all these different generations of people enjoying your music because so many of the hip-hop artists have been sampling your music. I mean, tell me, and you really embraced that, didn't you?
Yes, I mean, whenever I see somebody, the new thing coming in, whatever I can offer them, I know I'll get longevity in return for it. So I try to be down with whoever comes in, whatever comes in. When they good, you know, like a Tupac or a Snoop, now Kendrick Lamar, then you're glad you've been that way. I'm glad I've been down with Cube and all of the, you know, from the East Coast to the West Coast, to the South. I've been down with them, and that keeps you around, keeps you alive. And you can, well, our shows now, like I told you before, like a circus.
Right.
Where the grandparents, the parents, and the kids can go together, and everybody can feel cool. Because usually kids don't want to have nothing to do with their parents' music, and definitely not their grandparents.
Right.
But because of that hip-hop intervention in there, that bridged that gap. Now we have a new one. I just did a record with Louis Vega.
Okay.
On my new album, Brothers Be Your Like George, Ain't That Funkin' Kinda Hard on You, which is also the book. That's electronic music. So now we've been embraced by the electronic dance, and I'm down for that, because anything that, when you shake your booty, you got to have some funk.
And you're embracing technology too, because
That's what I'm talking about,
for somebody from your era who was putting out music in the 50s, you've released a book that came with downloads, right? Music downloads?
On the book, yeah. You can download the cover of the book. I mean, you have to learn to, we saw it coming in the 60s, even though we was out of our mind. We saw 2001. We saw what they say was gonna happen in the 20th century. So we was ready for it. We've been waiting on it a long time. We got out there first, you know, back in the 60s, and we was tripping and everything. We was waiting on it to get here. So everything that's going on now, I've been waiting for a long time for this point.
What is funk?
Anything you need to be to save your life. The attitude of being able to change, be down with whatever new music, and see what your part is in there. And my part is, if you got a booty, you're gonna shake it. So you're gonna need some funk. Funk is anything it need to be at that time, it need to be that.
Is there a big difference then between, say, funk and soul and hip hop, or is it all kind of the same stuff?
All of it has got that booty shaking rock and roll. It's all got some funky moments in it. Jazz, it's just that we linger in the funky parts. Mm-hmm. We get to the funky parts, and we usually stay there. And at first it might bore you or be monotonous, but once you get past that point, like a James Brown record, it's just become automatic. They do that with drum machines. They try to copy it. That's the closest you can get to it with a loop, and that's a pretty good imitation. But to be able to do it live, that's the real thrill. But we work with the, like you said, electronics. Whichever way you want to move your behind, we want to be there.
How do you write a funk song? Do you start with the beat? Is that how you start?
No. Anyway, if the beat is happening, you just jump in. Sometimes you just jump in and they have to put the beat in behind you. It doesn't matter if you just feel funky and you let go. It's like use the force, Luke. Do the best you can and then funk it.
So the music just kind of, you feel like it just kind of comes through you?
Yes, you come through, yeah, definitely come through. You ain't got nothing really to do with it. When they get on that really good clock where it's all working, that's coming from someplace else. You just tapped into it, and it's there probably for all of us if we can get to that point. And I mean, you take somebody like the Beatles, you got to be open to some all kind of influence to have that many variations of good songs.
Right.
And they, believe me, they was funky. That's why so many people recorded them. A lot of people like the songs by other people better than they did the Beatles.
Right.
But the truth is the songs was there already.
Wasn't always easy for you. I mean, you had some struggles with substance abuse, right?
Oh,
some drug struggles,
man,
I mean, for years.
I danced with that right on through till I was ready to get out of it, till I got, 5 years ago. And that, helped me get in the trouble that I'm fighting to get out of now. Even though it's no excuse for people to steal from me because you're under the influence.
Right.
Oh, I did my share of that.
Right.
But I also was able to turn myself around at a moment that I needed to be turned around, and that's to fight these copyright people who thought I was out for good, and that they could just take everything that not only belonged to me, but to everybody that worked with me. All the people around me. There's a phenomenon going on so deep with the copyright issue, with the samplings and the people stealing that by the time people understand it's going to be a Senate subcommittee investigating it. It's not that small.
I don't think everybody understands exactly how it works. So you sat down with your group and you wrote these songs, but now a record company owns those songs, the copyright?
A publishing company, well, publishing companies and record companies.
Okay.
Because that's what I said, it's a conspiracy so vast. All those records that came out on the sample songs came out under different record companies.
Okay.
They had to make an agreement with each other, how they was going to treat that. And the artists had nothing to do with, the writers had nothing to do with. So they made deals under the table, and then finally people found out, oh, there's some publishing to be had there. There's some what's called intellectual properties that's being downloaded, which you need a license to do.
So were you not paid for, say, Atomic Dog when Snoop Dogg used it?
Not today even.
Oh, you're kidding.
Today even. I mean, and with
that's millions of dollars, isn't
Straight
it?
Outta Compton coming out now. All those records that was on their records, and by the way, we're close. Ice Cube and all of it. They took the money from them, but they split it up amongst themselves, the record companies, the publishing companies, and our society's got a big part to play in it. The BMIs and ASCAP. It's so big, because you're talking about one guy sued 500 people in Nashville over our copyrights.
Who got sued?
Everybody you can think of that had a hit record got sued. Include Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Snoop,
For sampling
Jay-Z,
because they're using other people's music.
For sampling our music.
Oh, okay.
Now they paid millions of dollars. None of our writers ever seen any of it.
Oh, wow.
Okay, none of our writers ever seen. Right now, they're blurred lines.
Sure.
I was a part of that case. They were suing the same guy, Robin Thicke and Pharrell, on behalf of one of my songs. And then I can tell you, I went on TMZ and said myself, my song ain't in there. Because they would have won, just like they won with Marvin Gaye. It's the same people that I'm talking about that's been suing me and suing people in my name all this for the last 20 years.
But you're not seeing any of the money.
Nobody.
Do you think you're going to?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
What are we talking about here? 10 million?
You're talking about hundreds of millions.
Hundreds of millions.
Hundreds of millions. It's about 30 years of movies and televisions and commercials, and then just every new artist that comes out, Tupac. I'm looking at it this way. Dre got a headphone called Beats.
Yes.
And I would like to see the percentage of the beats that was from our songs that influenced that deal.
Wow. So you'd even make money off of that if this whole thing is done. Well, you should.
Like I
is what you're
said,
saying.
he know what he worked for.
Right.
But he have no idea that when he got sued and supposedly paid me, that I didn't get it.
Oh, yeah.
You know
Well, good luck with that going forward. Somebody at your age, how do you stay motivated to go out and do these shows?
To fight these people that just did that. At 73, I was motivated enough to put out an album with 33 songs on it, a book that told my whole history, and to do a shows that sold out around Europe just this last 30 days. I'm more motivated, I'm like it was in 1975 when we were just doing the mothership. I'm ready to kick butt. I love a good challenge. That'll make me get funky for real, and that's what we've been doing. I got my grandkids in the group. I got the kids of Gary Scheider, Diaper Man. His kid is in the group. It's a family affair, and anybody that see it will understand what we're talking about.
So tonight in downtown Phoenix.
Oh, bring two booties with you.
George Clinton, thank you so much. Really good meeting you.
One nation under a groove.